He had a beard and a mustache, and he was an art professor to boot. And so there were paintings and drawings. There were nudes, and there were abstractions, and there were storm-tossed landscapes, and there were sculptures as well.
The Emerald City is not in Oz, but in Massachusetts, according to Danny Mydlack.
And it was like, half of it was like being shot off into space and arriving on a distant planet, an alien planet. And it also equally was like coming home. Like, for the first time, I was among my people.
Daniel Mydlack is an EMF professor at Towson University who has been teaching for 23 years.
I went one afternoon with Peter, because he did kind of adopt me. I mean, not only was I their babysitter, but he also took me under his wing and gave me art lessons, in fact. Like I'd been an orphan, like I'd been adopted by my family. I was just down the street, that I'd grown up, as a kid, and here I was 11 or 12 years old, and all of a sudden I'd been revealed like, oh, actually, these are your real parents.
Danny became the regular babysitter of the London household all through his junior high and high school years. Danny had been an inspiring art student since the age of 7.
Might have been a Wednesday afternoon, about 2 in the afternoon, and it's what back then was called Southeastern Massachusetts University, SMU. I'd never been on a university campus, even though this was in the next town over. Universities, were just not part of my reality.
Up to that point in time, only one of Danny's 9 brothers and sisters had attended college.
And I walked alongside him, and we were going. It was like a lot of the universities built at that time. They were landscaped, and they were long walkways and lots of staircases and big tall buildings. He walked like he owned the place. He was a professor, he was a full professor, so I guess in a way he owned the place.
Professor Peter London was a tenured professor of art at the Southeastern Massachusetts University.
And I just felt like the closest thing I could think of is this was like I was Dorothy and I was in the Emerald City. You know that scene in The Wizard of Oz where they arrive in the Emerald City and everything's verticals and astounding, and the people are astounding, the buildings are astounding. It's an idyllic metropolis of the future, kind of. I just remember thinking it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It was the most beautiful city in the world I could ever visit. This pretty standard average American university campus, that it was the Emerald City.